Hello, and welcome to this session of the Supply Chain Canada National Conference. We hope you have enjoyed the conference so far. My name is Mike Taylor, and I am a managing partner with Valenta BPO. We appreciate you joining us as we present just some of the many ways to use robotic process automation and artificial intelligence to optimize supply chains and logistics operations. The contents of this presentation will touch on the many challenges and priorities business leaders have for their supply chains and logistics, why companies are investing in technologies that allow them to automate their operations, some common, consistent objections many small and medium-sized businesses typically raise to starting their software automation journey, despite knowing they need to launch these efforts quickly. We'll explore more in-depth both RPA and artificial intelligence and how they combine as powerful solutions for optimizing processes and programs. We'll survey the many areas throughout the supply chain ecosystem where software automation is providing benefit. And we'll share a few specific use cases for RPA and AI. A survey of over 1,200 logistics industry professionals completed earlier this year shows their top priorities for supply chain operations in 2021. The extreme cascading disruption and effects of COVID-19 laid bare the fragility that has existed in many supply chains throughout the world. In particular, it exposed the ineffectiveness or total lack of business continuity plans. In most cases, if a company had a continuity of operations plan, it was an untested, unrehearsed document. Companies recognize the need to accelerate their digital transformation roadmaps and invest immediately in various technologies to automate as much of their operations as is feasible. They need to maintain financial viability by improving their cost positions. At the same time, they are seeking to diversify their supplier base to mitigate risks. In many cases, these companies determined the need to right-size their workforces, such that they had the right number of workers with the right skill sets in the right places and positions, focused on the right priorities. The need for much deeper talent and expertise managing supply chains and logistics is evident, and where possible, organizations are actively seeking to upskill or augment their current skill sets. With the delays happening all along the chain at various times and with differing magnitudes, companies are desperate to achieve real-time visibility, extending from their supplier's suppliers all the way to proof of delivery to the final customer. So with all the possible priorities, why invest in automation in general and software automation in particular? Many recent studies, including one completed by McKinsey, indicate that the frequency and intensity of supply chain shocks will continue to grow, with companies experiencing disruptions lasting more than 2 months every 5 years. Think of the cost of such an impact. For 2020, it is estimated that the total global value of out-of-stock items exceeded $1.14 trillion. We are on track to exceed that cost value in 2021. At the same time, e-commerce market growth is exploding, and it is on track to exceed $4.2 trillion in 2025. This is forcing major shifts to omni-channel fulfillment operations and planning. The various input costs and transportation costs, most notably ocean freight shipping, have spiked over the last 12 months. By way of example, the cost of shipping a 40-foot container from Southeast Asia to North America has swelled by 340% year on year. Even as customers shift to buying more online, their expectations for quality and speed of delivery are increasing. They want to get precisely what they want, where they want, and they are increasingly expecting it next day, same day, or even sub-same day. As companies grapple with these demands, they also face severe labor and talent shortages throughout their supply chain operations, most notably manifesting in a deficit of drivers, port operators, and warehouse workers. When it comes to automation specifically, the supply chain and logistics domain is perceived to be the laggard in adopting latest generation technologies, especially relative to other business areas. McKinsey has found that, on average, organizations have transformed and digitalized only 43% of their supply chains. This claim is supported by a couple of key statistics. As of 2020, 63% of organizations had no technology solutions in place for monitoring the performance of their supply chains. At the same time, 46% of small businesses do not consistently or effectively track their own inventory, or have an automated tool allowing them to do so. For those companies that are investing in automation technology in 2021 and beyond, what specific business problems are driving their implementation? The biggest driver, at 56%, was the need to become more competitive in the marketplace. Next was the need to improve customer service. Third was much better cost controls. So what specific benefits do these companies hope automation will bring them? 70% expect automation in their supply chains to yield significant cost savings. 65% expect higher throughput and lower defect injection for greater overall productivity gains. 65% recognize that only through software automation and other complementary technologies can they achieve true end-to-end visibility, ideally continuously real-time visibility. The remaining benefits consist of better customer service, improved communications and relationships with suppliers, enhanced risk management, and more efficient internal business unit collaboration and performance. There are at least 6 common concerns or objections for putting off the necessary investment and implementation of automation technology. We frequently encounter the perceptions that automation, even software automation, is just too expensive. I'm worried that the implementation will lead to unplanned downtime. Our existing software we are used to operating with won't integrate with proposed automation solutions. It will take too long and cost too much money to train our staff on the automated solution. Our organization's throughput simply isn't high enough to justify investing in automation. Or lastly, we are just not sophisticated enough an operation to support or require software automation. But automation tools such as RPA and AI have become so democratized and cost-effective that even the smallest of organizations can realize immediate benefit from automation in a matter of a couple of months or even less. Let's explore RPA more in depth, starting with what exactly RPA does. An RPA software bot emulates human actions, taking the exact same step your human worker takes today to execute tasks. The bots can operate any application that has a user interface. Bots excel at processing data in structured formats. Bots are digital workers that work continuously, 24/7. And bots achieve extremely high levels of accuracy and do not make the kinds of mistakes human workers typically do when managing data or processing information. In terms of how it will impact your current operations, RPA is absolutely non-invasive. It is simply layered on top of your existing operations, applications, and business systems. RPA is easy to scale, and since it can operate any application that has a user interface, it is future-proof and can provide the same benefits regardless of future platforms or systems you invest in. Of course, not every process is suitable for RPA. Those that should be automated and turned over to the software bot ideally have the following characteristics, and think about the processes your workers are executing today to see if they fit these descriptions. Automatable processes are highly manual and repetitive. They are structured with well-defined rules. They generate fairly low exception rates. They have standardized formats and readable inputs. They have high numbers of transactions, have flexible processing methods, represent inherently wasteful or error-prone processes that have a lot of potential for better efficiencies, and they are mature or stable processes with consistent inputs and predictable outputs. Let's watch an unattended software bot as it automatically processes a purchase order and the associated invoice.
Welcome to Valenta AI. The bot picks the files available in the input folder and extracts the data using document understanding. The extracted data is exported into the Excel file. The steps are repeated for all of the available documents. Sample file that shows how the data is extracted from the invoices and saved in the Excel file. This can be configured in the required format. For more information, please visit our website. Thank you.
Here's another unattended software bot automatically adding a new supplier to the approved vendor catalog.
Welcome to Valenta AI. The bot reads the email that has the new supplier request. It logs into Engage Accounts. The bot navigates to Supplier Management screen and creates a new account with the data provided. It enters the supplier details, bank details, validates the ABM number, finally sets it as a supplier. The bot then sends an email to the requester and accounts payable team the details of the newly created supplier. For more information, please visit our website. Thank you.
When you add AI capability to your RPA solution, you dramatically increase the number and type of processes that can be automated. This power combination can accelerate your digital transformation from a few automated processes in one department to enterprise-wide adoption and will improve your return on investment to a matter of months instead of years. When you layer in machine learning, optical character and voice recognition, computer vision, natural language processing, and AI, you are able to expand your automation from simple, highly structured, and repetitive tasks to highly complex, dynamic, and unstructured processes, building in capability for more timely, autonomous execution and decision-making. To provide a simple analogy, when executing complex, unstructured tasks, AI and computer vision read the screen. Then AI and machine learning understand and decide what to do, and then the RPA interacts with the various applications to execute. When we talk about supply chain domains, we find that we can leverage automation across the 5 areas of plan, source, make, deliver, and aftermarket operations. The potential and immediate benefit that is realizable today goes far beyond invoice processing, which is a universal activity and a typical starting point for process automation. Let's take a look at some typical actions of humans in conventional, non-automated processes. They spend time researching or looking up information in different business systems, frequently checking the timeliness, validity, or quality of the data. Humans spend a lot of time creating and updating documents, searching for existing documents they know are stored somewhere but can't remember where, uploading documents to various internal or external sites, and emailing documents to others. They may spend significant time simply monitoring dashboards or portals or waiting for updates or changes. They may be an approver in a workflow or change request, or they may spend time chasing approvals from others. Human workers spend a lot of time running reports, trying to compile and merge relevant data from several reports or sources into one new report, cleaning up errors or omissions or eliminating redundancies, building or running Excel models and macros, and summarizing key data for decision makers in formats like emails, white papers, or presentations. Humans spend time handling exceptions, many of which are routine and repetitive, or they spend time regularly syncing data from disintegrated systems to maintain data integrity or fix data issues coming from partner sources. Of course, we all spend time checking emails, following up, escalating issues that remain unresolved, or seeking clarification before taking next steps. There are certainly more activities besides these, but this provides a good summary of highly automatable tasks we have our human workers doing today when they could be freed up to focus on more value-adding tasks. Let's drill down a level or two from the plan, source, make, deliver, and aftermarket domains to identify more granular automation opportunities across the spectrum from demand planning and S&OP reconciliation to purchase order management, goods receipt monitoring and quality checks, warehouse management, and customer service or field services support. Within the realm of planning, we see software bots engaged in sales forecasting by gathering customer data and other external inputs, generating and disseminating reports or updating reports, and analyzing trends ahead of S&OP meetings. We have bots gathering relevant data and running forecast error reports, running demand variation analysis, and updating actual versus targeted customer service levels. Bots can help with much of the heavy lifting around supplier planning by downloading reports and converting into Excel or other platforms for analysis, reviewing capacity, and scrubbing shipping schedules for gaps or delays. As part of the S&OP process, RPA bots and AI can aggregate data and perform increasingly sophisticated analysis to propose courses of action for production and distribution. Consider your sourcing and procurement functions and the myriad of structured forms and processes that they execute continuously. RPA bots can handle the tasks around vendor activation and onboarding, managing catalog updates and queries, purchase card user management, and routine contract maintenance. There are a whole host of activities under requisitions management that are automatable, such as replenishment order generation, catalog and non-catalog purchase order generation and processing, purchase request changes and cancellation, and approval workflows for purchases. Additionally, RPA can manage purchase orders and process advanced shipping notices as part of the goods receipt monitoring activities. In warehouses, we see automation driving optimization in many ways, such as automatically matching actual goods received with planned receipts, generating pick lists, and improving inventory management by updating target stock levels and reorder quantities to avoid stockouts. Logisticians are increasingly relying on bots to gather required shipment documentation, create and track shipping orders, and generate bills of lading. Many of the order management tasks are routine, rules-based, and highly structured, and are therefore automatable. And within the growing realm of reverse logistics, supply chain leaders are tasking software bots with mundane tasks of creating RMAs, communicating returns details to impacted partners, scheduling returns pickup times and locations, and adjusting inventory upon goods receipt and check-in. Finally, in the sometimes overlooked area of aftermarket operations and services, we see RPA and AI increasingly automate many of the tasks and processes that fall under service contract management, logistics administration, customer service, field services support, and spare parts management. Let's look at a specific use case for automating the reorder point process. Here are the challenges manual planners face as they try to figure out the key inputs to reorder point calculation. What is the right safety stock level? Is the lead time accurate? Do I have the right review period for this product family? Reorder quantities often prove to be too little or too much, especially in this current environment. The manual planner asks, how can I keep up with rapidly changing demands and lead times and proactively apply them to my reorder quantities? The software bot solution allows the organization to intelligently, dynamically calculate the optimal reorder point and automatically execute the replenishment order. It does this through a range of tasks, including continuous monitoring of ERP transactions, such as sales orders, forecast updates, actual lead times, and so forth, by monitoring the purchase order status of inbound in-transit freight, and testing economic order quantity assumptions against costs and order profiles. The bot takes these critical inputs and calculates optimized reorder quantities, alerts users of the new quantities, and submits PO requests for replenishment. This allows the company to maximize profitability by minimizing stockouts, reducing overall inventory, and freeing up your people to truly plan inventory via exceptions, while the bot handles the everyday calculations and review. In this example, a manufacturer's procurement manager leverages automation in the vendor selection process. In the conventional manual process, a human worker would prepare the RFQ package by pulling together background information, selecting the contract template, identifying and inserting the right terms and conditions, applying a pricing template, and adding such elements as the bill of materials, questionnaires, and an NDA for this particular RFQ. This person would then respond to queries from vendors and post them to a portal or email to the vendors directly. As part of preliminary analysis and vendor evaluation, the worker copies information from vendor portals and supplied documents into the analysis template. And you can see the rest of the steps the human worker would complete through final vendor selection. The middle row shows all of the tasks the bot would take over, from automatic creation of the RFQ package to submission, back and forth communications with vendors, logging into external websites with appropriate credentials to gather, validate, and assess vendor analytics, and make an intelligent recommendation for the vendor to select based on predefined criteria. Of course, there will still be vital steps a human decision maker must perform, such as making the final selection, but they are largely freed up to focus on more strategic and value-adding activities. It is typical to see cycle times reduced between 25% and 50% for an overall faster process time improvement of between 15% and 45%, all while greatly minimizing or fully eliminating errors. As part of the deliver domain, a distributor uses RPA and AI to automate purchase order status updates and reporting. The conventional challenge entails people in the organization emailing suppliers or 3PL providers back and forth trying to get updates, logging into suppliers' websites or 3PL's portals, extracting large data dumps, and then trying to sort through them and filter out just the relevant data needed. Often this entails entering extracted data into an Excel document that needs to be then reformatted to upload into the internal ERP. This is an all too common recipe for wasted time, delayed and untimely information, and data entry errors as key information is transcribed from one data source into several others. By outsourcing this process to a software bot, you turn over all of those tasks that can be automated to run 24/7 without making mistakes, reporting updates and exceptions in real time, and sending auto alerts to relevant stakeholders about delays, shortages, cancellations, or other PO issues. This automation leads to a more integrated supply chain with improved inventory management and trade partner relationships, as well as higher customer delivery service levels. To wrap this up and address one of the common questions, how or where do I start to automate? Pick a manual process your people are executing today that is painful, highly repetitive, and labor hour intensive, and let's do a process walkthrough. Within a few weeks of a comprehensive walkthrough, you could have an effective automation solution design, and you could be live with your first software bot a few weeks later, saving you time, effort, and money. Please contact Valenta today to learn more about our digital transformation offerings and automation as a service. Thank you for attending this session, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.